The smoke was so thick you could taste it, a bitter grit on the back of your throat. For firefighter Dana Ruiz, it was the smell of another Tuesday. The Santa Ana winds were howling, fanning the flames of the wildfire into a raging beast that devoured everything in its path. Homes, memories, entire lives were turning to ash. Dana and her crew were on the front lines, a thin line of defense against nature's fury. They were evacuating a neighborhood on the edge of the inferno, a frantic race against the clock. That's when she saw it. Through the swirling orange haze, a property already kissed by the flames. And, in the backyard, a flicker of movement. It wasn't a person. It was a dog, a powerful-looking pit bull, chained to a post. The chain was short, brutally short. The fire was creeping closer, licking at the wooden fence just feet away. The dog was panicking, lunging against its restraint, its barks lost in the roar of the fire. Every protocol, every rulebook screamed at her. Leave it. People first. Her captain's voice echoed in her headset, ordering the crew to fall back. The structure wasn't safe. The roof could go at any second, but Dana couldn't move. She looked at the dog's terrified eyes, the desperation in its struggle. It wasn't just an animal, it was a life, abandoned and left to face a horrific end. This was more than a fire. It was a moral crucible. Her duty was to her team, to the people she was sworn to protect. Her humanity cried out for the helpless creature tethered to its fate. To go in would be to defy a direct order, to risk her life for a dog that society had already thrown away. To turn her back would be to leave a part of her own soul in those flames. In that split second, with embers raining down like malevolent snowflakes, Dana made a choice. It wasn't a choice between duty and a dog. It was a choice about who she was. Captain, I have a civilian in distress, going in. Before he could argue, she dropped the radio. She vaulted the fence, the heat hitting her like a physical blow. The dog, seeing her approach, bared its teeth, a low growl rumbling in its chest. It saw her uniform, not her intention. The chain was thick, padlocked. No time to find a key. Her multi-tool was in her pocket. With practiced, urgent movements, she worked on the lock, her fingers burning through her gloves. Beams groaned overhead. The fire was no longer creeping. It was galloping. The dog, sensing the shift in her energy, quieted. Its eyes, moments ago filled with fear and aggression, now held a glimmer of something else. Trust. The lock finally sprang open. Dana grabbed the end of the chain. Come on, let's go. Together, they ran. They scrambled back over the fence just as the roof of the house collapsed in a shower of sparks and flame. They didn't stop until they reached the relative safety of the fire engine, both of them coughing, covered in soot, but alive. Dana gave the dog some water from her bottle, and for the first time, he licked her hand. Back at the station, they called him Ash. He had no chip, no owner to claim him. The kennel was full, his future uncertain. But Dana knew his future was with her. She had walked through fire for him. She wasn't about to abandon him now. This story isn't just about a heroic rescue. It's about how, in our darkest moments, in the smoke and the chaos, we find out what we're truly made of. It's about the connections that defy logic and the courage to choose compassion, even when it's the hardest choice of all. Thanks for watching. System offline. Story complete.